Hello, friends. The main content of this episode is China's birth population drops to the Qing dynasty time. Authorities ban talks about population crisis and block it all over the web. Spent 120 billion. Hainan Heiwa Island turns into a dead zone. Investors cry and faint. Explosion at a Chinese restaurant in Kabul, Afghanistan. 7 dead, 13 hurt. Chinese citizens become targets. Sightseeing helicopter crashes in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan at Mount Aso. 3 people on board are missing. Now let's look at the details. First, let's pay attention to China's birth population drops to the Qing dynasty time. Authorities ban talks about population crisis and block it all over the web. The Chinese Communist Party's National Bureau of Statistics announced population data on the 19th. In 2025, China's whole-year birth population is only 7.92 million people. The birth rate hits a new low since the Communist Party took power in 1949. This causes China's population to have more deaths than births, natural negative growth for the 4th year in a row, starting hot talks. Yi Fuxian, a Chinese population expert living in America, says this number is about the same as the birth number in 1738 during the 3rd year of Emperor Qianlong in the Qing dynasty. At that time, China's population was only 150 million people. Population problems are sharp issues that the Communist Party does not want to mention. On the 19th, Weibo's hot search list did not have any topics related to birth population is 7.92 million. That day, topics like 2025 GDP growth 5%, people's daily comments on US killing line, China's GDP crosses 140 trillion yuan mark appeared in the top 5 hot searches. Many netizens noticed that 2 topics birth population drops below 8 million and 2025 birth population 7.92 million people were blocked by Weibo. According to the announcement, China's total population at the end of 2025 is 1.400489 billion people, down 3.39 million from the end of 2024. The whole year birth population is only 7.92 million people. Birth rate is only 5.63 per thousand. Death population is 11.31 million people. Death rate is 8.04 per thousand. Population natural growth rate is negative 2.41 per thousand. From reports in Chinese media, the 2025 population birth rate is only 5.63 per thousand, a new low since the Communist Party took power in 1949. The birth population of only 7.92 million people compared to 9.54 million in 2024 is called a cliff-like drop. This causes China's population to have more deaths than births for the 4th year in a row, jokingly called better to die than to be born, natural negative growth. About these numbers, Yi Fuxian made explanations on social media X from the 19th to the 20th. On the 19th, he first said China's 2025 birth of only 7.92 million people has gone back to the Qing dynasty, similar to the birth number in 1738 during the 3rd year of Emperor Qianlong. But at that time, China's population was only 150 million people. On the 20th, Yi Fuxian said this number is really a big change not seen in 100 years. The birth number is not back to before liberation overnight, but back to the prosperous time of Emperors Kangxi and Qianlong. In the 3rd year of Qianlong, China's total population and birth number were both third of the world's. Now China's total population is less than 16% of the world, and birth number is only 6% of the world. He said with a bit of sarcasm, China, as the world factory, now makes all kinds of goods, but only does not make Chinese people. As for normal Chinese people about this latest population number, some think it meets expectations. Others shout, that's way too different compared to 2024. One netizen said, 2024 had more than 9 million. 2025 directly breaks 2 marks to less than 8 million. The country needs to pay high attention. But another netizen replied, now in China, 1 person living is tiring enough. And to pull one and bring one to birth, can 3 people still live? Population topics are sensitive in China. The latest analysis articles about birth population dropping below 8 million in these 2 days on China's web, many have been deleted. But the real situation may be even worse. Population scholar Liang Zhongtang told Central News Agency reporter, China started population census in 1982, then every 10 years in 1990, 2000, 2010, and 2020, and every 5 years sample 1%. Every year sample 1 per thousand population survey. All guided the survey process and adjusted survey results based on net growth of more than 10 million per year. This is not said publicly, but many Chinese population researchers know this. Liang Zhongtang was once vice president of Shaanxi Province Academy of Social Sciences. From 1988 to 2008, served as expert committee member of the National Family Planning Commission. At the end of last year, in his self-media post, preface to Liang Zhongtang Population and Family Planning NetEast blog collection, he pointed out problems in official population statistics. He said, China did have net increase of more than 10 million people per year. The problem is after 1990s, from 1962 starting about 10 years of high birth groups, mostly finished first marriage and first birth, then birth rate dropped. More important, in 1990s, Chinese government allowed farmers to go to cities. Every year, tens of millions or even 200 to 300 million farmers flowed from villages to towns, quickly changed China's social structure, caused birth rate to have a cliff-like drop. Liang Zhongtang said, around 2000, population growth level dropped, but statistics department thought this did not match previous year's data and did not meet expectations. So adjusted data treated the sharp drop in birth rate as people's hiding reports, missing reports. Long-term used net increase of more than 10 million per year to adjust population surveys including census, but this adjustment should not be done. He pointed out, doing this for decades, China's population data is seriously overestimated. So China's total population is far from 1.4 billion that much. Women's birth rate is also not as high as Statistics Department and Family Planning Management Department say. He said, based on 1982 census data calculation, China's women total fertility rate is 2.64. 1990 is 2.14. 2000 is 1.30. 2010 is 1.18. 2020 is 1.30. Total fertility rate is also called birth rate, means the total number of children a woman gives birth in her life. Liang Zhongtang pointed out, if we accept that population change overall trend is from traditional to modern and slowly drops, then the above data from National Population Census are contradicting each other. For example, 2000 and 2020 birth rates are both 1.30. Women's birth rate did not change in 20 years of big social changes. That is hard to believe. If 2010 China's women birth rate is 1.18 and 2020 is 1.30, in 10 years it did not drop but rose 0.12. He thinks that is not reasonable. Especially in these 10 years, China's new birth population dropped by almost 1 million per year on average. Singapore's Lian He Xiaobao on the 19th quoted Liu Jiehua, Vice President of China Population Association, professor at Renmin University of China's School of Population and Health, who guessed last year China's birth rate already dropped below 1, almost the same as Singapore. 2024 Singapore is 0.97. But Liang Zhongtang thinks China's real birth rate is lower than South Korea. In 2000, Japan's women birth rate was 1.36, South Korea was 1.47, so even comparing to 2000 China's women birth rate 1.30, it is lower than Japan and South Korea at the same time. Today, from 2000, another 20 years passed. 2024, Japan's birth rate is 1.15. South Korea is 0.75. He thinks based on 2000 China's newborns 17.71 million, 2024 newborns 9.54 million calculation. Even if the number of women able to give birth is different in these two times, but same year, China's women birth rate must have dropped below 0.7. That is lower than South Korea's level. For a long time, Liang Zhongtang is the only scholar inside the system who openly said against one-child policy, and later against all kinds of family planning policies. Last year, he published a book in America looking back at the West State Road, also comment on China's population studies hegemonism. It is a record of his thoughts in population studies, discusses China's population studies, population statistics, and academic style, etc. Also, many netizens doubt the 7.92 million number is not real. Some noticed 7.92 million is close to the number of people getting national consumption subsidy at the start of 2025. Comment areas started to have some joking voices, and now CCTV Net has set comment area to selected comments. Next, pay attention to spent 120 billion. Hainan Haiwa Island turns into a dead zone. Investors cry and faint. Once inspired by Dubai's Palm Jumeirah artificial island plan, Hainan province's Haiwa Island spent 120 billion to build fun projects, malls, and tall apartment buildings. Now it has become a monument recording economic overexpansion driven by debt. Now Haiwa Island has a big shopping center with no stores, a theme park with no visitors, dozens of wasted tall buildings, artificial beach too dangerous to swim, all show China's long chase for real estate dreams. Wall Street Journal reported on the 20th, a visitor from nearby coastal city Danzhou, Zhou Qingbin, described, "This place is like a dead zone." Most areas of Haiwa Island are now controlled by Hainan Province Danzhou city government. The city government is thinking how to handle it. Haiwa Island was built by Evergrande Group. Goal is to become China's version of Palm Jumeirah, bigger than Dubai's original. But Evergrande Group collapsed in 2021 because of more than 300 billion yuan debt. The ideas Evergrande chased, Danzhou city government seems to want to continue. The report says, Evergrande put about 120 billion into Haiwa Island, most from loans, though big amount, still did not reach the original announced 230 billion needed to build apartments for 200,000 people. Before collapse, Evergrande said 60,000 finished apartments were already given to buyers. Other building projects mostly only got to concrete base after piling rainwater became fishing pits. About 39 almost finished but never sold apartment buildings now stand in rubble wasteland. The Danzhou city mayor and party secretary Zhang Qi, who approved Haihua Island project, was sentenced to life in prison for corruption in 2020. Evergrande founder and chairman Zhu Jian has not appeared in public since 2021, though sued for fraud, etc. But cannot confirm if convicted, cannot confirm where he is. The report analyzes Dubai's Palm Jumeirah luxury villas were bought fast by stars, ball players, foreign officials who like sun. Compared, Haiwa Island main attract are from North China, retirees looking for warm place to avoid cold. 70-year-old retiree from Heilongjiang province, Zhang Kun said, 5 years ago when buying apartment, Evergrande office was full of people rushing to buy. He said, if sell apartment now, equals lose half the investment. The report says, almost all cities in China have unfinished buildings left by Evergrande collapse, but no place like Haihua Island, left with such high density, showing Xu Jiayin's past glory of extra real estate. Retired banker from Hebei, Wang Xian pointed out, Xu Jian expanded too much, thought he could do anything. In next 10 years, about 300 million Chinese will retire. Many want sunny, safe place to live. If only 1% come, Haiwa Island can be big success. Next, pay attention to explosion at a Chinese restaurant in Kabul, Afghanistan. 7 dead, 13 hurt. Chinese citizens become targets. On the afternoon of the 19th, an explosion happened at a Chinese restaurant in Afghanistan's capital Kabul, causing 7 people dead, including 1 Chinese citizen and 6 Afghan people. Also, 5 Chinese citizens hurt, including 4 women and 1 child. The extreme terror group Islamic State, ISIS, Afghanistan branch Islamic State Khorasan Province, ISKP, also called ISIS-K, claimed they did it. This event happened in Kabul's heavily guarded Shar-e-Naw business area. This area has office buildings, shopping centers, and many countries' embassies, seen as one of the city's richest, safest areas. After the event, Afghanistan's Interior Ministry spokesman Abdul Mateen Khani confirmed this is a terror bomb attack. The attacker went into the restaurant, then set off a vest bomb. The restaurant is run by a Chinese couple and 1 Afghan citizen, mainly sells Lanzhou pulled noodles. This is another big attack on Chinese citizens in Afghanistan since Taliban took power again in 2021. From 2023 to 2025, similar attacks already caused at least 30 people dead, shows the country's safety is still not stable. The extreme group Islamic State, ISIS, Afghanistan branch Islamic State Khorasan Province, ISIS-K, or ISIS Khorasan, claimed they did it. In their statement, ISIS-K said this attack targets Chinese citizens and their security people to get back at Chinese Communist Party's crimes against Uyghur Muslims. The group blames Beijing for pressure policies in Xinjiang area, including forced work and culture wipeout, and claims they put Chinese citizens on their global attack list. ISIS-K also blames Chinese Communist Party and Taliban government's close work, thinks this helps press Muslim minority groups. Some international watchers who long pay attention to overseas safety risks point out, in recent years, Chinese citizens are more affected by geopolitics. Chinese citizens abroad have become scapegoats under Chinese Communist Party policies and foreign talk. Since 2021, US pulled out and Taliban took power again. ISIS-attached groups are still active and sometimes attack Taliban members and normal people. From 2023 to 2024, ISKP did 3 terror bomb attacks, total at least 30 people dead. Next, pay attention to sightseeing helicopter crashes in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan at Mount Aso. 3 people on board are missing. In Japan's Kyushu Kumamoto Prefecture, Aso City, a sightseeing helicopter carrying 2 Taiwan tourists crashed on local time morning of the 20th. Rescue teams already found badly damaged plane parts near the volcano crater, but the 3 people on board are still missing. From Japan media and Taiwan media reports, the crash happened on the morning of the 20th. Around 10:52, the plane took off from the park, planned about 10 minutes crater sightseeing flight, then return, but around 11 lost contact. Witnesses in Aso Volcano Museum Lev video show the plane seemed to give black smoke and fall fast. Then, Kumamoto Prefecture sent more than 100 people from police, fire, and self-defense force to search and rescue. Around 4 p.m. that afternoon, on the inner slope of Aso Mountain, Nakadake No. 1 crater found badly damaged plane parts. Total 3 people on board, including 2 Taiwan passengers and 1 pilot. The pilot is a 64-year-old Japanese man with more than 40 years driving experience. This was the plane's 3rd flight that day. On the morning of the 21st, search and rescue started again. But because the crash spot is an active volcano crater, land is steep, with high volcano poison gas, thick fog, and -4 degrees cold, drones hard to go in. Up to now, the 3 people not found, still life or death unknown. Missing people's family are rushing from Taiwan to Kumamoto. Taiwan's Foreign Ministry and Mainland Affairs Council show concern and ask Japan's side to speed up check. Japan's Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism set up check group will fully check weather, machine fault, crater airflow, etc. factors. The flying company Takumi Aviation said fully help check, and sorry to families. ASO Mountain Helicopter Tour is local classic sightseeing item, long attracts many Taiwan and world tourists. Now, crash reason is still checking.